Hey everyone, it's Ashley and I'm here for Not Too Shabby to share with you my design team project for this week. I will put all the links for the products that I share below, and if you do head over to the shop to make a purchase, you can use the coupon code CraftyGirl to save 10% on your order. So today I made these really cute little shaker tags. I'm going to be sharing a process video with you of how I made them, and I just think they turned out so cute. Those little ducks on there are just precious. So I'll hold up each of the little tags so you can see each of them up close. I will share with you the products that I used to make them, and then I'll get right into the process video for you. So to begin with, I have these little cute tags, and I made kind of one little boy one and one little girl one. So here's the little boy one, and I used this little shaker component tag so that this little duck looks like he is peeking into the water. And I tried to put some sequins and blue glittery in there so it looks like there's little bubbles. And then the back you could put a little message or put who you're giving the tag to. And then here, this one, I put little bows on it so it's a little bit more girly, and I just think it looks so cute. I'm so excited with how it turned out. So I will share with you the products that I used for this project. Jamie had sent me this DT stamp for the month of February, and this is Lucky Duck by Gerda Steiner, and I used this little cute little duck's little body, and then I also used the little face sticking in. I used the little dragonfly, the little fish, and also these that little duck there, and then those little, like, I think they're called tumbleweeds there. I also just used from this little stamp, this is Octopi My Heart, and I just used that little bow there just because I wanted one of the ducks to have a little cute bow. For the shaker, I used this MFT die, and this is the Tag Builder Blueprint number 6, and it is such a great die. I did share this in some past process videos, but today I changed it up a little bit and made it so that the water was at the bottom. I don't think that's how the die is intended, but I thought I would change it up for this particular project. I also used this new doodlebug paper pad. It's called Spring Things, and it just has a lot of really cute spring colors. Then I put some shaker components inside of these tags. I used these little glittery confettis that I got at Michael's, and I just used the blue one so it would look like water. I also used some of these Recollections chunky glitter confetti, and then I just used some 4mm clear sequins. I thought that would make it look like there was little bubbles in the water. Then I used this Doodlebug Spring Assortment twine. I used the pink and blue. I used this American Craft ribbon. I thought it looked very spring and cute pastel colors. I used my black jelly pen for the eyes and my white jelly pen to put 3 little dots on the cheeks of the fish and also the little ducks. And then I also used some foam sheets to do the raised tag so that it would make the shaker components, and these ones are actually have a sticky back, so it makes for less having to add as much adhesive. So I was so excited to have found those. I got them at Michael's. Then also one way that I use my acetate for the top clear part of my shaker tags is using these clear plastic wraps that you can get at the dollar store. So those are all the products that I'm going to use to make these sweet little tags. I hope that you guys will enjoy the process video. So I'm going to get started with that and show you how I went about making these sweet little shaker tags. So I'm starting out with the Gerda Steiner Lucky Duck stamp set, and I'm just stamping out this cute little duck's bum. That is like the cutest little image ever. And then I'm also going to stamp out the little face. You could use the bum on its own or make a cute little scene where the duck is sticking its little face into the water. I'm also going to stamp out 2 little fish, as well as these little ducks. And I'm using the black ink by Lawn Fawn, and I really like it. It's called Jet Black, and it's from their newer release. And then I just put those little weeds there, and then also the dragonflies. And then I'm going to get started with the Copic coloring. So I'm using the YR04. I go in with YR02. Then I go back in with the YR06. YR04 for the little feet, and then I do the same thing with the little beak, so YR07, YR04, and YR02. And then I do the same thing with that little beaks down there on those little ducks. I don't actually end up using all of the images, but you will see how I go about deciding when I fuss about later with the images. So there I was using Y37. Now I go in with Y35 and then Y32 just to blend it out. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the duck, or sorry, that was Y38, the darker color there. So it's Y38, Y35, and Y32 for the little duck. And I just think that this duck stamp set is so precious. It's really cute for Easter, but then it's also nice for spring, or you could just use it for any occasion in the summer. So it's a nice spring one to get because you can use it all year round. Now I'm just going with that little duck, and I'm using again the Y38, Y35, and then I blend it out with the Y32. Now I'm going to do the little tumbleweeds, so I use the E59, E57, and then I'm going to go in with E54, or sorry, E55. And I went out of the lines a little bit, so I just went over it with my white jelly pen. That's a really good way to cover up if you go out of the lines instead of using the colorless blender. Then I'm just going to add some green, so I use G05, and then I use a lighter green. I use G00 to blend that out. And then I'm going to color in that little fish, so I use G07, G05, and then I go in with G00. And that little fish is so cute. He's so perfect for the duck to be picking in the little pond at the fish. And then I'm going to do the water part, so I'm using BG13, and I'm just going over all of those little lines. And then I'm just going to blend them out with BG10. And because my paper was more of a turquoisey color, I went with the BG, like the blue-green colors. And then I used that same color combo for the little dragonfly, for his wings. And then I went in with a darker color for his body. For his body, I used B05 and then B02. And then I decided I wanted to put a little bow on two of the ducks, so I stamped out two little bows from that Octopi My Heart set. And then I'm going to color them in my favorite pink color combo, which is RV04 and RV02. Then I just add a little pink to the duck's cheeks using R20. And then I just go in with my white jelly pen and add one little dot on the fish's cheeks and three little dots on each of the little duck's cheeks. And then I take my black jelly pen and just do the eyeball of all of the little critters. Now, using my sewing scissors, I'm just going to fussy cut all of these images out. There is a coordinating die for this stamp set, so I will link that below as well, but I just prefer fussy cutting, so I'm going to fussy cut all of these out. And I have to say this one was a little bit tricky to fussy cut, but it turned out all right, so I'm happy with that. And now that I have all of these fussy cut out, I will get started with making the shaker tag. So I'm going to take this shaker tag die here, and I'm cutting it out on blue cardstock. That's going to be the background and also what we'll be showing for the water part. So I cut out 2 of those. Then I took this acetate paper that I got at the dollar store. I think it's used to wrap like flowers or gift baskets, that kind of thing, but it's perfect to use for making shaker cards. You could also use packaging from stickers or just any type of craft packaging that you have. Now I'm taking that little tag die and I'm just going to die cut out 2 of those little top dies so that it has a little bit of the blue on the top of the tag as well. And then using the patterned paper, I'm going to cut out, using the 2 tags, this little patterned paper. We won't need that middle piece, but we're going to use this outside piece like that. And then we won't use that piece, but we'll use this little half circle there to cover up so it just shows the water portion. So I'm doing the same thing with this pink patterned paper. So again, I'm just showing how I will set it out. And then I'm going to cut out the foam pieces to make the shaker component. So I'm going to cut out 4 of these, 2 for each of the tags. You want to make it as thick as possible so that you have lots of room for the shaker bits to shake about inside. These ones have adhesive on the back of the foam, which is perfect because it will make it a lot easier to attach them later on when I do that process part. And now I have all of my little pieces, so I'm going to start assembling them. So I'm going to use my ATG gun, and I'm first going to start out by adding these little shaker foam pieces. So I am layering these 2 up, so I'm going to use 2 for each tag. And it helps a lot that it has the adhesive on it. It made it a lot easier and saved me not having to use so much adhesive. So I'm just adhering those on here. And the foam loses its shape a tiny bit, so I just kind of fussed with it. And now I'm going to put on this piece. And it was over the edge a little bit, so I just used my sewing scissors and trimmed that part off. Then I'm taking these little pieces and I'm putting the adhesive all the way around the outside, and then I'm going to add on the little acetate sheet, or like the clear plastic packaging. So I'm doing that for both of them and making sure I get all the way around the outside. And then I'm going to add on those little circles, so that way it closes off the shaker tag so that the bottom part will be the only part that you see shake, because I want the bottom part to look like the duck is peeking into the water. Now I'm adding on those little top tags and the shaker part is done. So now is the part where I'm going to add on all the little pieces, and these little bows I wanted to have no white, so I actually cut off the white part on it. It would have been easier to do if I had done that originally, but I changed my mind about it. So I'm just going to add the little bows onto the ducks, and then I'm going to fuss about with how I have the little pieces on here so I can decide how I want it to be. I had stamped out some sentiments to put on, but I changed my mind about it because I felt like it wasn't fitting properly, so I didn't show in the process video when I stamped them out because I don't end up using them. So I'm just kind of fussing here how I want it to look, and I decide that I want the little fish to go inside, and then I want the little duck to go on the outside, so it looks like it has lots of dimension to it. So that one I've decided how it's going to be, and I'm not going to use the sentiment for it, and that way I can use it kind of for any occasion that I want to use it for. And I'm adding the fish in that one as well, and then I'm just playing around with the little duck. So I make the pink one a little bit girly with the bows, and then I make this one more masculine without having the duck have a bow. So that is the way I end up deciding to use it, and I did have some pieces left over, but that's fine. I'll just use them for another project. So I put that duck part on top, and now I'm just putting down all of these little pieces, and it looks so cute. I was literally like so excited when it worked out. Sometimes you get an idea in your head, and when you put it together, it just doesn't happen, but this one totally came through for me, and I was so excited how adorable these little ducks looked peeking into that water shaker part. So I'm just adding these last few little pieces on here. Now I get to do the fun part, which is adding the sequins. So I take some of this blue confetti part and put it in. I take some of that white just to give it a little bit that isn't blue. And I'm taking these little Pretty Pink Posh sequins. They are the 4mm sparkling clear, and I add those in and a little bit more of the blue confetti. Now I'm just going around the outside, and one thing is it's really important that you don't get any adhesive on that top part because it is going to be in the shaker. The shaking bits are going to be touching that, so you don't want them to stick. So make sure at this part you only put adhesive around the very outside of the circle. And there is the little shaker, and she's so cute. So now I'm doing the same thing with the blue part, and again making sure that none of the middle part has the adhesive. And there is the second little shaker, and it's just so, so cute. My husband really loved these, so he's definitely going to get that little boy one, I think. Now I took the little doodlebug twine, and I took some American craft ribbon, and I'm just cutting those out. And I thought that I would use pink for the girl one and blue twine for the boy one. And I just kind of bend it in half, and then I can pull it through. I had a little bit of trouble getting this ribbon through. It's just a little bit thicker than the other American craft ribbon that I have, but I got it through, so it's all good. And now I just took the twine and I tied 2 knots on it so that it holds it nicely, and then I tied the little bow. And then I'm just going to trim off the little extra on the bottom of the bow, and I'm doing the little pink one. And I just do like a little slant at the top of it. And there is that one. So now I'm going to add on that twine again. So I'm just doing 2 little bows and then a little, or 2 little knots, excuse me, and then a little bow. Perfect, and then just trimming off the excess. So those are my little shaker tags. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and leave comments. I love hearing from you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye now.